Welcome to the beautiful Florida Keys and Hawks Cay Resort. Join us as we hear Frank Harris's story and the sacrifices that he made for our great nation.
These are the faces of heroes. Many still bearing the invisible wounds of war, PTSD, and trauma.
I left Vietnam, but Vietnam never left me. That's how I'm living.
Why did I come back?
Why are they gone and I'm not? You know, what have I done to deserve to be here?
Our mission is listening and hearing, helping and healing for those who sacrificed and those who continue to sacrifice. The mission today and every day is Operation Healing Heroes. Brought to you by Great Clips. Morning rises over the Florida Keys, painting Hawks Cay in soft light, a quiet grace over a place known for healing.
So you ready to go do some fishing today?
Sir, I want to go out here and catch this big one I missed last time.
Joining us on the boat today is Frank Harris, a Vietnam helicopter pilot who once flew through fire to save the lives of others. Few volunteer for war, and fewer still fly into battle day after day, watching friends fall while carrying the weight of surviving. For decades, those stories stayed locked away.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
But today, on these calm waters, Frank takes a courageous step of a different kind. A step toward healing, toward releasing the burdens he's carried alone for far too long.
So tell me about growing up as a Georgia boy.
Growing up as a Georgia boy, well, Warner Robins, Georgia, at the time we moved there, I was in the 6th grade. I remember hearing a loud noise outside, and these jets were flying overhead. It was Memorial Day, and the Thunderbirds were doing their air show at Robins Air Force Base, where Warner Robins, Georgia is. And I just stood out in the backyard probably, I don't know, maybe a good hour, watching these planes do their aerobatics and stuff, and just fell in love.
Here come the Air Force's official air demonstration team, the Thunderbirds.
And one way or the other, I was going to fly.
That's cool. Oh, yeah. He's on. Got it right there.
Yeah, I got him. Oh, wow, he went straight out that way. He's down there. He's already
Go start reeling? You got this, brother. You got it. How's he feel?
All right, yeah. Yeah, I grew up as kind of a wild child, me and my buddies that we grew up with in the neighborhood, and we do this every now and then. On a Friday, we'd skip school and go up there to underground Atlanta, and we'd get a 6-pack of Sprite and a little pint bottle of some bourbon or something, and we'd drink that all day long. We was not like we were getting drunk or anything. We were just kids, 15, 16 years old, 17, having a good time. And I was in the front seat, passenger, and I just happened to look over, and that was my father, and he was looking dead at us, And we had a little tussle about that, He took my car away from me. He said that he had 3 rules. You don't drink and drive, you don't drive your car out of town without permission, and no one else drives your car. Well, I broke all 3 rules. My father served in Korea. He was awarded the Silver Star when he was in Korea.
Really?
He didn't really act mad about it or anything, but he just said, well, Frank, he said, I think it's about time. He says that you need to go in the Army. They'll make a man out of you. It was 2 weeks later, I was on my way to Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Really?
For basic training, yeah. Right from day one, anybody want to go to Vietnam? I threw my hand up. I was always first to volunteer,
Really?
Yeah, I went in September. I turned 18 in November, and then my butt was in Vietnam in April.
Wow.
That quick. Yeah.
Still looking for his war face, Frank quickly learned what he had gotten himself into. In Da Nang, night after night, mission after mission, he flew straight into the fire, long before he ever had time to understand what war really was. A Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, Hawks Cay Resort, and by Suzuki Marine.
Operation Healing Heroes is a nonprofit organization dedicated to documenting the lives of our U.S. military veterans. In addition, we also provide financial support and treatment for post-traumatic stress. Your donation will help heal our heroes. There you go. You got this, brother. There he is! There he is! Oh, yeah!
There he is. Ah,
You off?
damn, he broke off again.
He broke off, guys. We'll get him.
A lost catch on the water is nothing compared to what Frank once flew through. When Nixon began pulling troops out of Vietnam, pilots weren't among them. Frank stayed in the skies, flying critical missions to support the ARVN in brutal combat.
There's no more infantry, no more ground troops in Vietnam. All's left is the advisors and the aviation units. We continued on with the mission we were assigned to, search and destroy. It didn't really hit me as far as our loss until the incident I had. We had 2 Cobras and a Loach and the Huey gunship that I was on. The Cobras come in to roll in on this bunker to fire their rockets off on it. And he got off a couple salvos, but then he goes, I'm hit. He crashed right into the ground. And our job was, as flying the chase and cover, was to go in and pick up any survivors or bodies if that was so. And we went in and they dropped me off. I was on the edge of a rice paddy about 50 yards, 60 yards or so from the aircraft. And I grabbed the M60 I had and threw a couple of rounds of belts over my shoulder. I got to the aircraft and the front seat pilot was dead. And it wasn't something you'd be wanting to see. So I could tell when I got there, there was blood all over the canopy in the cockpit, and he was slumped over. And the rear pilot was banging on his window real bad and everything. So I immediately got to him, got his canopy open, and he had a broke leg. His femurs were sticking out, you know. So I got him out of the aircraft and pulled him off about 50 yards and went back to get the other pilot. And when I opened his canopy, he just fell out on the ground. He had been shot through the head and he was dead. He had, it looked like he'd taken a round up through here and it just blew the top of his head off.
Oh, gosh.
His helmet was all shattered and stuff. And, you know, it was just, I couldn't get his helmet off. I wanted to cover his face. Well, it did kind of dawn on me at that moment, but once I was there, well, now what am I supposed to do? There's nobody here to get us. The aircraft that had brought me off took off. And I didn't have a survival radio, but the pilot from the Cobra that had one. They couldn't get back in there to get me. And the pilot and the dead pilot, they had to leave us there overnight. And now it was dark and I was there by myself with them. And that was tough. I was like, are they coming back? Well, they said they'd get to us as quick as they could, but they couldn't land. They would, you know, use some probing fire every now and then, and I'd have to move. I'd move 50 or 100 yards in different directions, you know, and it was just so, it was terrible.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Great Clips, Creval Boats, and by Power Pole.
American made is just, it's hard to put into words. Nothing better. You know, you fight for it and say, I fought for that, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And it always follows through, you know.
If you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes footage, follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to learn more and go deeper into the subject of healing, tune in to the all-new Operation Healing Heroes podcast, Feel the Heal. Hear from veterans, first responders, doctors, nonprofit leaders, and Gold Star families as they share powerful stories of hope, healing, and resiliency. Tune in and feel the heal.
I kept thinking I was hearing the voices all the time. You're in total darkness. You don't have any light other than the ambient moonlight, whatever. You didn't, you know, it's like, well, what do I do next? I'm waiting. You know, the time is just, the killer there is the waiting, you know, and I think that's what bothered me the most. Listening to the pilot, he tried to stay as quiet as he could, but just hoping and praying to God that we would make it. Sure enough, the next day, the crack of dawn, I hear him. Here he comes. You know, here comes the cavalry. And that's what it was. And they picked us up. You know, and it's like every time I think about it, which is not very often. And this is only like probably the 4th or 5th time I've told the story about this incident. But it's difficult. It was horrible. But we went on. Once a week we'd have a company formation. Usually it was on a Sunday morning. Called out Sergeant Harris, front and center. Major Fairweather, he looked at me and he said, we know we can't replace what you've lost, but we could give you this for what you've earned. And he pinned that on me. You know, you process, you go through all the paperwork, you know. You go to the airport terminal at Da Nang, and you see that big jet sitting out there, and it says Flying Tiger Airlines on the side of it. And you get on the plane, and you still don't realize it. But when those wheels part the ground, you're on your way. Then you know you're on your way. And then when we touched down in Travis, they all went crazy. We all went crazy again. We're home. We made it. You know, and it's like, finally. And I'm not going back. When I came home, I remember I went to my dad's office to surprise him, and he came in, flipped the light on. I was in uniform, and it surprised the heck out of him to see me. And he looks at me, and he goes, "What's that?" And what are you trying? He says, "That silver star on your chest." It's my silver star. I told you I could be as much of a man as you wanted me to be, and as much of a man as you are. You know, and he looked, and he just had one of the few times I'd ever seen him kind of half smile, and he just said, "Good job." And that's all we ever said about it. It was nothing ever else. I never talked to him. I never told him what happened. It's like he never told me what happened.
So he never heard the story of what you'd done?
No, he didn't want to know. I don't really know the story of how he earned his.
I was gonna ask, did he ever share that with you?
No, he never did. That was it. Ever since then, I just swept it all under the rug, you know.
Middle Georgia Honor Flight gives World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and terminally ill veterans a chance to stand before the memorials built for them in Washington, D.C., completely free of charge.
If you'd like to recognize a special veteran in your life and see them featured on our website, log on to operationhealingheroes.org and click on the Recognize button.
Operation Healing Heroes is brought to you by Battle-Born Batteries, Hawks K Resort, and by Tarpon Time Guide Service.
A few days after I got home, that, wow, I'm here, but I've left so many behind. You know, like I said, within a year, we'd lost 6 people, and they were all friends of mine. And it's like, why me? You know, I was in several situations where I should have died myself, and God was looking after me. But the survivor's guilt, it just eats away at you. It's like, why me? Why am I here? And there's nobody to answer that for you, you know? After all that, you know, and I made my peace with him at the wall. And he was happy I was there.
Yeah.
Frank carried the trauma of that fateful night for decades. At the memorial, he etched the pilot's name into paper, a simple tracing that felt like a hand reaching back. In that moment, Frank finally felt peace and a forgiveness he never thought he'd find.
I sat down and talked with somebody. I finally kind of let go a little bit. But right after that, it's like, okay, I feel a little bit better. I don't need any more help. Just kick it back under the rug again, you know? I just couldn't get it out of my head, especially at night when I try to go to sleep. Just over and over, I relive all this stuff, you know, and I can't get it to stop. You're so confused in your thoughts and your mind. You can't settle down, you know, you're racing thoughts. You go to bed at night, you can't go to sleep. I think that's why I'm here, is because I know that Healing Heroes is here to help me. And if anybody can, I feel that they will, and they will follow through to their word. And so far, it's been a pleasure. I'm just grateful for you guys. Thank you. And if it wasn't for organizations like Healing Heroes, people like me would still be sitting in a chair at home, kicking stuff under the carpet and looking at the 4 walls, you know, and just being alone. You know, it's like being out there in the rice paddy overnight, being alone all your life.
Are you proud of what you did?
I'm very proud of what I did.
Should be.
I'd do it all again in a heartbeat.
You would?
Yes. Even if I had to do the exact same thing again, I would do it. You know, it's just part of me. I'm an American. You know, I've fought for our freedom. I fought for the right to say it's American made. You know, freedom isn't free. It comes at a heavy price. But there's folks willing to take on that chore, you know, to pay that price, to keep us free and to enjoy what life has for us. There's organizations out there, guys, like Operation Healing Heroes and foundations that they're hooked up with that can give you the help you need. And it won't cost you anything. It's nothing but your time. But please put in the time, because it'll pay off for you.
Well, this is just the start, Frank, of how we want to help you make tomorrow better than today. But we did make a custom rod. It's made by Thornton Brothers. It's a St. Croix blank. It's got Operation Healing Heroes and all the branches of service, American flag. That's for you. Hope you catch many more fish. More fish than we caught today, I hope. Bigger fish anyway.
Bigger fish, did. Thank you, Jay.
And I did get you your own Operation Healing Heroes jersey with your name on there. We've got Frank Harris on the back. That's for you, brother. I can't say thank you enough. I know you don't think you're a hero, but I think you are. Can I hug you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It means the world to us. And I know you don't think you're a hero, but you're a hero, brother.
Thank you.
You're a hero.
Beautiful.
Frank's journey doesn't end today. His healing process is just beginning, and we have a plan for him to make tomorrow better than today. If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you've seen in one of our episodes, or nominate a veteran to be featured in a future episode, log on to our website, operationhealingheroes.org, and click on the nominate button.